Hey guys, thank you for joining me for another episode of Remedies and Realities with Angie Blake. I just want to remind you guys that if you are enjoying the content, please like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the content creators more than you realize. Thank you. Enjoy the show. Hey guys, welcome to episode 11 of Remedies and Realities. I'm your host, Angie Blake. I have with me today Jamie Goode, and I met Jamie through a podcast that she has recently started that is called Judy's Daughter, the Jamie Goode Story. And I was just fascinated when I first found it, and I reached out to her immediately. So, welcome to the show, Jamie Goode.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on, Jamie. So, tell the audience a little bit about if you want to start with a podcast, that's fine. Or if you want to do a background as to what took you to the podcast, just let us know who
Okay.
you are. Yeah.
I am Jamie Goode. I've actually been, I think what led me to the podcast first was it's kind of an odd story. So my mother was kidnapped when I was 12. Um, this happened in a very small town, Grand Saline, Texas. Uh, what led me to the podcast itself was her story. Um, but something that to talk about who I am is I'm a photographer, and that started with my mom. So when I was 6, she gave me a camera. I've been a photographer basically ever since. Um,
Wow.
so I think my love for photography is something that I live through because it keeps me connected to her, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Um, so entwined with my photography, I've learned and I've dealt with other businesses that also have podcasts and all this. And people that know me, they've asked me, "You should start one. You should start one." And we talked earlier, and I was telling you that I wanted to start one years ago, but I didn't think that I was mentally or emotionally ready or prepared for it. I think I'm ready now.
Yeah.
So I just decided to just jump out there and do it and, speak for her and tell her story and our story and where it's led me today.
And this is a new endeavor, right? This is a new thing for you, the podcast.
Yes, absolutely. I believe I've got 5 episodes out right now. And it's blowing up. It's lots of downloads. It's all over Spotify, Amazon Music, all the major platforms you can find it. I've also got a YouTube channel as well. You can find
Oh,
the video portions of it there.
okay. I'll
Um,
have to look for you on YouTube. I follow you on Spotify right now,
okay.
but I'll find you on all the others as well. So this is a fascinating case. You were 12 years old, and I mean that's a hard time anyway. And then all of a sudden, your mom wanted to talk to you and didn't come home that night. Can you just kind of give a background a little bit for the
Okay.
audience?
Um, the full part of this episode, this story is the latest episode currently on my podcast. But it's basically me telling everyone about the night she disappeared. A brief part of it, I was 12. She was married to my stepfather for 10 years at that point, and he was very abusive. He was very neglectful. He was not a very nice man whatsoever. He was a truck driver. Both my parents are truck drivers. So he was currently out of state at the time when it happened. So she wanted to go for a ride, and she's like, "Come on, let's get in the car." That was one of our things when we would just get in the car and ride back roads and just listen to
Mhm.
music. That was our getaway from the world. Well, she's like, "We need to take a ride." And I knew that meant she needed to talk. So She was just basically telling me she was filing for divorce from my stepfather. She was sorry and apologized to me for all of the stuff that we have gone through, the abuse and everything like that, that I should never have seen all of that.
Mm.
We ended up at the Bear Grounds. A lot of people don't know what the Bear Grounds are. It's a parking lot that was at a local Piggly Wiggly grocery store that had been closed down for years. There was a couple other little stores, like a pharmacy and a dollar store, but it was just an abandoned parking lot, basically. And everybody on Friday night and Saturday nights, kids, high school kids, everybody hung out there. Some of the older generations had been doing it for years. So that's where we ended up that evening, talking to friends and family. I am related to 50% of Van Zant County, so a lot of them were
Right.
there. Cousins everywhere.
Right.
Gotta love them small towns.
Girl, I grew up in small town Arkansas. I feel you.
You get it. Um,
Back roads. Yes, we definitely
yes,
did the back roads
love the
and the
back road.
tailgate parties. Oh, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So we ended up there talking to some friends and family, just visiting, hanging out. Didn't realize how late it was. At some point, she was going to take me home. She's like, I got to get Jamie home. It's getting late. Well, while we were there, before that happened, this truck had pulled up with this guy getting out of it. He's kind of scruffy looking. think another guy or two was with him, someone in the back of the truck. They all get out. They're visiting and stuff too. And I remember him, there was an odd look about him, and he kept eyeballing my mom like throughout for a good, I guess maybe 30, 40 minutes that we were still there when he had arrived. He just kept eyeballing her. um it made me creeped out. Just I was
Mhm.
just that kind of girl that I
Yeah.
watched people.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she took me home. We get to the house and she's unlocking the door, and she's like, all right, I forgot cigarettes. My mom was a smoker. So she's like, get in the house, lock the door, get ready for bed. I'll be right back. I'm going to run up to Easy Mart and grab me some cigarettes. No big deal. She'd done it all the time. Um, well, I did what she told me. I got my pajamas, brushed my teeth, got ready for bed. Woke up the next morning and her car was not in the parking lot. Went throughout the day, walked around the corner to my great aunt who lived just around the corner from us. I let her know. She's like, all right, I'll reach your Aunt Linda. Aunt Linda was my mom's oldest sister who lived across town. She's like, I'll let her know. And if your mom's not back by dinner time, we'll get Aunt Linda to come get you. No problem. Um, Dinner time arrived. She still hadn't showed. So my Aunt Linda came and got me. And I spent the next 2 nights, Saturday night and Sunday night, with my aunt. I had went to the school on Monday. Like nothing had happened. My aunt never acted like anything was wrong. She was not shocked. She was not worried. And it was really odd for me because in those 12 years, my mother had never, ever, ever done that. Like she made sure I was with an aunt, with my grandmother, somebody before she ever would go somewhere. So I knew that wasn't right. Well, that's
Right.
probably why I was sick to my stomach when I got to school. So the teacher said, honey, you don't look like you feel good. And I said, I don't. I feel sick. So she sent me to the nurse. It wasn't even 8:30 yet that morning at school. So I go to the nurse's station. The nurse checks me out. She's like, honey, you got a little bit of fever and you look very, like she said, I just looked sick. When you get that nauseous
Mm.
feeling, you just look green. It was
Yes.
the worry in me that was making me
Hmm.
sick.
Yeah.
And sadly, this is probably the part that really hurts is because the nurse goes to the principal, and the principal is the one that came in and talked to me and ended up saying, what do you mean your mom? You can't call your mom. I was like, she didn't come home Friday night. You haven't seen her since Friday? I said, no, not since 2 a.m. Friday, late Friday night. He's like, okay. So he actually called the police department, and then they called my aunt, and the police came to the school, and that's when, at that point, when they interviewed me. And that's when they finally put out she's missing. So that's where it all began, was with my school. So I'm grateful to the principal for doing that. I was very upset that my family didn't.
Yeah, that seems odd. Oh my gosh. I mm, I mean, obviously I want everybody to follow your podcast and you're gonna reveal everything, in time on the podcast, but I'm just wondering what a 12-year-old, what it can be going through your mind. You're at school and the principal knows something's wrong, but you've been staying with your aunt and that must have been so confusing for you. Did you go back to your aunt after that?
I did. I ended up having to stay with her. I probably lived with her for about 6 months. Um, and then I couldn't handle it. I didn't feel she had a daughter, my cousin, who was 5 years older than me, and she wasn't the nicest person in the world. Like, I had to do all the cleaning, and she had me scrubbing the floors and the toilets with toothbrushes when my aunt was out of town or working, and like she was making it's like the wicked stepmom type thing.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
I'm like, you don't think I've already gone through enough, and you're torturing me over here? Like, really? You're taking advantage of me? But that's how they were. Their genuinely heart is not genuine. They're all fake. Most of those people in my family I don't talk to anymore.
How many siblings did your mom have?
So it was my Aunt Linda, my Uncle Ray, and my mom. There was three of them, and we lost Aunt Linda and my uncle last year.
Oh
So now they're
gosh, I'm
all gone.
sorry.
Yeah,
Now, what year, you said you were 12, so it was a few
1990.
decades. Oh,
1990.
90.
September the 8th of 1990 was the Friday night she disappeared.
And do you have your own ideas of what you so the guy that had the look, did you not know him? Because in a
I
small
didn't
town, everybody knows everybody, right?
I didn't know him, but he was actually from Oakland, which is a little bitty community between Grant Saline and Van. And it's kind of outside of town. And his family had money. At the time, he was married to another woman who he was also very violently abusive to.
Oh,
We found this out later, and of course, she left safely. Thank goodness she got out of that. Um, but he still lives in the same place, and apparently he's on meth now. So, um, yeah,
and so where your mother's car was found later,
in the bare
correct?
grounds. Yes, it was still left in the bare grounds where the next morning is where they found her car, her keys, her cigarettes, her wallet, her purse, everything still in the car.
So she left there and took you home and was just going to the Easy Mart, which was not there, right?
From what I was told, one of the cousins had told me that when she was at Easy Mart getting her cigarettes, he was also at Easy Mart getting more ice for their beer. So he had invited her to come back up there and hang out for a little longer. She's like, okay, you know, I was a lot more mature as of a 12-year-old than most 12-year-olds back then. Like
I understand.
I was raised as an only child. So she
Right.
raised me very fast and I knew things. I knew, a lot to protect myself. But she's like, okay, Jamie will be fine for just a little bit. She's asleep. I'll go up just
Yeah,
for a minute and then I'll go home.
right.
And that's when all that happened, that she was last seen. Apparently, she was seen sitting on the tailgate of his truck. Um, they had beer and stuff. I don't know if she was drinking or what, but she had fallen off the tailgate and hit her head and had a slash on her head, was bleeding. Somebody said that they took a rag out of the back of their truck and just kind of stopped the bleeding. That's kind of why I have a couple scenarios that either she left with him on her own free will and something happened from the head injury, he panicked and disposed of her somewhere so he wouldn't get in trouble, knowing you could have dropped her off the police station or the front of the hospital that was in town,
That's
anywhere.
right. Mhm.
Um, or she went with him and he did something to her and then disposed of her. So it could have been either way, but either way, you still could have, if it was an accident and you were scared, you still could have dump her at a gas station somewhere that she could have been found by someone, you
Something.
know.
So your scenario is he was the last one to see her, and so
Yeah.
it's probably something to do with him and have the
No, it
police
is.
inve
We know it's him.
you do
Yeah. We've
and
had
have
people
the
talk that are scared, but people have talked. People that know him close have personally talked to me. I can't give names and stuff, but
don't but
we
they
know
have they talked to the police? What are the
some of
police
them.
doing?
A lot of it's hearsay. They have to have some evidence so that they can get legal permission to do searches. If you don't have search warrants, you can't do it. You have to have reasonable standing evidence to get a search warrant to do that.
And since he was the last one to see her, they couldn't search his truck?
Oh, he sold that the next day. He had it
Oh,
bleached and stripped and sold it to the chief of police's son the next day after it happened. Yeah.
I would say that's surprising, but again, I grew up in a small town.
Nope.
Wow.
Last we heard, some doctor in the Bullard area had purchased it because it was an older antique truck. He had purchased it, and then from last I heard from there, he sent it to a wrecking yard somewhere or something. So we have no. We've been trying to track down that VIN number. So if anybody out there knows how to track down a VIN number, apparently Grand Saline, the police department, doesn't know how to do it. Someone help me. I need to track
Oh,
down this truck.
right? Yes, definitely. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Um, wow, hang on. My mind is just blown right now. Goodness. Okay. Have other stations or is the story out there at all? Have in newspapers or other
Well,
stories?
we've had the Van Zandt County News. They did some stories way back when. Grand Salene's Sun, they did some stories. Bert, the guy that runs it, he still does stories for me on anniversary dates. Anytime I want to run something, he'll put it out there for me. Tyler KETK, they did interviews with me multiple times. I've interviewed with them on TV. We had a reporter from Dateline who did it wasn't a video interview, but it was just a print interview, but her story was posted on their website on Dateline. Um, it's the Texas Rangers were involved. I believe they called in FBI with canine people. I mean, people were brought in when this first happened. Psychics, everyone that they could probably bring in, and absolutely no one could do anything. Nobody could find. I'm like, he's right there. You're searching in circles, and he's right there.
Right in
But
front of your face.
yeah,
My
you know the worst
gosh.
part? He worked for the Van Zandt County precinct, one of the precincts for the road crew. He worked for them.
Why does that not surprise me?
They're
Oh
gonna
my.
protect their own, you know.
Of course. Oh, oh, Jamie. Oh, oh, what a story. Oh my
Another reason I
gosh.
had to move away from Van Zandt County. I couldn't handle it anymore. It's
I
just
was going to ask if you ever see him or run into him or
sadly I have to see him when I go to the cemetery where my grandfather's buried because he lives across the street from the cemetery.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the
That's a
worst part,
lot.
you want to hear a really bad part?
Okay.
His nephew, the man who killed my mother, his nephew is married to my sister.
Oh, tell me how that happened. Does your sister, does she
He,
share the same
no, we have
belief
the
and
same dad, so we don't have the same mom. Um,
okay.
and we didn't grow up together. We didn't find each other until middle school. We didn't even know we
Oh,
were sisters until middle school.
okay.
But it's kind of one of those things of it was later on, years after all this happened. He doesn't have the same last name as his uncle. It's a different last name, but um, it has put a damper on mine and my sister's relationship because she's married to a man who loves her. They have children together. They have a homestead. It's been years. I would never make her choose. I would never want to put her in a situation of choosing your husband and your sister. But it is uncomfortable because I want to have a better relationship with her. I miss her.
Mm-hmm.
And before they got married, we were closer. And
Oh,
I feel like it's kind of put her in a really hard situation, if that makes sense.
yeah. Did she know when she first started dating him the whole how who he was?
I don't know if she knew the extent of she knew maybe he was a suspect, but I don't know if she knew the extent of it. Um, honestly, I haven't really talked to her about that.
I
It's
can
kind of
understand.
it's hard.
I'm I'm sorry if I'm asking questions.
Oh, no, no, no.
I'm
I
just
want to get it out. It's okay.
wow. Okay. So I didn't say your mother's name. Her name was Judy Marie Foster, right?
Foster's her married name.
Oh,
I actually, because that's my stepfather's last name, I call her Judy Marie Oliver, which is what her maiden name was.
okay.
Stepdad
Okay.
was a bad man, so we tried to move his name out of it.
I agree. I had seen a page on Facebook. That's why I thought the name was Foster. So, wow. I knew this would be a deep case, but oh my goodness, it's really crazy. So, Judy Marie Oliver, and there are pages on Facebook. You can look up the cold case, And then we've got your podcast where you're just unfolding every week. And you started way back from when you were a child and young
Yeah.
and having the relationship with your mom. It was just you and your mom.
It
I
was.
mean,
I was the
yeah.
baby. She had four kids, but they lived with their dad. So it was just, I was raising an only child, and it was so hard because we were each other's everything. Like she
Yeah.
confided in me and I confided in her. Like I grew up really fast. And when this happened, I've been on my own since I was 12.
Mhm.
I've everything I've done, I've had to do for myself. And I don't think people understand that. I never had guidance. I mean, I ended up with my first husband at 14, you
Oh,
know, that was an
my,
abusive relationship for almost 14 years, five
wow.
kids. Like,
Wow.
yeah, I was pregnant for 5 years in a row. I had five babies before I turned 22.
Oh my goodness. So how did you survive? How did you survive and what are you doing now? Because you've obviously pulled yourself up and you are successful and you're getting out there and you're getting your voice heard. How did you do that?
Um, I honestly, I feel like my mom has been with me the whole time. I It was hard, and I do have those bad days where I don't want to get out of bed and I just want to cry and I just want to hear her voice again because after a few years I completely have forgotten her voice, and that's the worst part is after so many years you forget their scent, you forget their voice, and I don't have any videos of her. We didn't have
I
video
was
camera, we were poor. We didn't have a
that
video camera.
yes. I was just going to say it was a different age. You
And
had those pictures. You didn't
yeah,
get to listen
and
to
for
the
me,
voicemails of
the saddest part is I only have a handful of photos of her because
her.
when this happened, my aunt and uncle had packed up our house. And I don't know if they sold things, got rid of things, kept things for themselves. And when it happened, like within a week, my house was empty and I was living with my aunt. Like
My
within a week of her disappearance. I mean, I went
what?
from having a home to just living in a room at my aunt's house. And I still don't know where her belongings are. And when my grandmother passed away in 2009, my aunt was supposed to give me all my stuff, and she took it and went to Oklahoma to live with her daughter. So I don't have but like five photos of my mom. I have an Easter hat she made and an old purse. That's the only belongings I have of my mother's. Yeah. So it really sucks because I don't have her or anything that reminds me of her.
Oh my
So it's
gosh.
it's all right here mentally. So that's what keeps me going is thinking about what she looked like, thinking about what we did together. She was crafty. She made things. I try to do everything that she did just so that I can not so much live through her, but have her live through me.
Yeah.
I,
Oh, absolutely.
once I'm gone, she's going to be gone. And I know her. I'm the only one left fighting for her.
Wow. Okay, so we're trying to get her story out there more, and you are working on, is it going to be a series or a movie? What do you have in the works now?
Okay, so I've been wanting to do this a long time too. And now that I've got the podcast going, I thought, you know what? Let's reach out and try. Well, I found a local film and TV producer. He does movies, short stories, all kinds of things. And he's local and he's really phenomenal. Like he's very successful. And we went through, I told him what I wanted. He got back with me just the other day and gave me a whole plan of everything. And this series would be kind of a documentary series, but with a visual storyline
Yeah.
and me being a part of it. And it would be like a 6 month span. And there's a huge budget for it. So it's a budget that I can't do by myself. So I started a GoFundMe to see if anybody could possibly help. I've got over 5,000 followers on my own personal Facebook page. If everybody donated $5, that would be a huge chunk of the fee. Like
Right.
that little bit. So anybody that is supporting me, please, I beg of you, if you can help, I would be so honored and so grateful. And my mother would be just, I know she would love this, that I'm doing something to help get her story out. Um,
Yes.
So the GoFundMe link is on my the Facebook page, business page, Judy's Daughter, the Jamie Goode story. If you go there, it's linked at the very top of the page. It's pinned
And
at the
I'm going to put it here too. I'll
Okay,
put it at the
perfect.
bottom of this. I'll put all of your links and information and way to get in touch with you.
Thank
Sure.
you.
Of
So yes,
course.
we're trying to raise funds to do that. That would be a huge thing to bring because it would document the whole story of what happened, just
Right.
everything. Um,
Absolutely.
I think it would be really huge because I think it would make people start talking. Somebody said reach out to like influencers, big influencers like on
Yes.
TikTok or
Yes.
anywhere, people that can help, whether it's just sharing her story or sharing the GoFundMe or sharing
Yeah.
anything,
Yes.
my podcast, more
Right.
downloads, that helps because any profits that I make from my podcast will also go to that documentary series.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. So, do you have to have the whole amount or a certain amount before he starts working on
If we
the?
can get 25% of it, we can get started. Yeah,
Okay.
started. Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
All
Uh,
right.
it
Well,
would be,
let's work together to try to get that done because I mean, it's definitely a story worth getting out there. And oh my gosh, my heart just hurts for you so much because you just don't even get this resolution and you just can't even have, oh my gosh.
yeah,
I'm
it's
just,
it's been a rough. Um, it's crazy because each year I think this is the year. This is the year. Something's going to come, and we hit that 10-year mark, and then it was the 15, and then 20, and now here we are, September 8th of this year, just a week or two away, will be 35 years. 35 years. She was
and
only
it's,
37 when she disappeared.
gosh.
So
And just without a trace. Like, did the police follow up on anything? Did they have
they've
any
they've said that they've followed up. They've gone through, and this is the craziest part. So this particular investigator who says he's still working on the case, I get phone calls and messages, and he tells me we're still working on it. We're doing this. We're interviewing this person. We're going to re-interview everybody. And it's still like, but are you really? I mean, are you really like giving it 100%? And I just want to stop for a second. And this is my question to that police department, those investigators. What would you do if it was your mom?
Mhm.
How would you
I
feel
wa
it was your sister or your
mhm,
grandmother or your daughter?
mhm.
This was my only person. This was my everything. And I lost every milestone I could have had. High school graduation, prom, getting married, having my children. Like, she's missed out on so much, and I missed out on all of that.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
just want them to know, how hard would you fight for your own? I want someone that will fight for me too, like that. So
Absolutely.
that's, yeah.
Wow. And so in say in 5 years from now, if everything could be exactly the way you would want it to unfold, what would that look like? Where would you be and where would
Uh,
this case be?
Honestly, I think if someone, because I know there's people out there that know something, he's
Mm.
talked to someone. I just recently found out he was messing with some girl and threatened her and told her that you could end up just like Judy too. And I'm over here thinking that's the first time in 35 years that it's gotten back to me that he actually spoke her name aloud to someone. So I'm like, I need you to slip up and talk to someone else. Like, either you come forward or you talk to the wrong person or someone comes forward and talks for you to tell. I need to find her remains. I want to give her a proper burial so that I have closure and her soul is peaceful, because
Mhm.
that that's probably the hardest part for me. Is not, I know they say, well, you can talk to her anywhere you're at.
No,
I
it's
don't
not the
have a
same.
gravesite to go sit down and talk to her. I don't. I mean, I know she's with me, but it's not the same.
It's part of the closure. It just helps to finalize things. I
And I don't
mean,
even care if he goes to jail because I know in my own heart God's going to pay him for what he's done. He is going to pay for what he's done. And for me, I just need the closure. I just need to know where she's buried. Where did you put her? Let me have her. Go on with your business, and I'll go on with mine.
wow. Oh, Jamie, what a story. Thank you again for coming on and for sharing this with me. Um, I
Thank you.
know that
Thank you.
God has been there with you the whole time, and I know it's taken a long time to heal, but I think this podcast will be good for you to get that out and to I know going through it must be so difficult, but still getting it out and knowing that people are now around you and rallying, when maybe you didn't have that when you were 12 years old. I know it's 40 years later, but still, I hope that some of that can be healing for you. And I just wish and pray for peace for you. I thank you again for telling your story. We're going to have all of your information at the bottom here of the video. And is there anything else that you would like to say or direct people or anything else that you'd like to add?
I just want to say thank you to the supporters and the people who have been there for me. The messages have been amazing. I've gotten Facebook messages, emails, text messages, calls from every place you can reach me, they've reached me. And even my contact list on my website for my photography business, I've gotten, contact, hey, I saw this. My heart goes out to you. Thank you to everyone for all that love and support. That means the world to me. If you are interested in more, you can put in Google the hashtag justice for Judy Marie. It'll pull up all kinds of stuff through Google. The podcast, the TikTok, the YouTube, Facebook, I'm everywhere. Follow along and let's see if we can bring her home.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And Jamie, prayers for you. I will reach out to everybody that I know as well. And man, I would love to see this take form as a documentary. Oh my
We
gosh.
can
It
even
needs to,
follow up. I'll come back on later and we can follow up if I get leads or anything comes forward just to kind of keep
yes,
people up to date.
absolutely. And again, if anybody can talk, if anybody knows anything, if anybody's heard anything, if anybody can give hints, um, yeah, we need everybody. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.